In 2012, things have changed when it comes to what we know about heat and humidity. Last week, when 7 schools took part in this scrimmage in Savannah, Derek Fitzgerald watched with interest. His son Nick is a junior at Richmond Hill.
You see the effects every day with dehydration on the field and kids just really struggling with the heat.
Fitzgerald played football himself in high school and is now involved in his son's team. He thinks the new heat policy is a good idea.
You make some kind of adjustment with the practice times based on the heat so that we keep the kids safe. You're protecting your players and you're protecting, in this case, I'm protecting my own child as well.
So what's different this year? For one thing, the acclimation period. For the first 5 days, which start Wednesday, practice can only be 2 hours long each day, and players are supposed to just wear shorts, t-shirts, and a helmet. After the first week, they can put on uniforms and pads and practice longer, but never more than 5 hours a day with a 3-hour break in between.
So in a 14-day period of time, we feel as if we can acclimate your body to be able to handle the heat better than what we've done before.
Earl Etheridge is athletic director for the city of Savannah and also heads the football committee for the Georgia High School Association.
We listened to the pros and cons of what we could do to help our young people play in football so that we could get rid of the stigma that we lead the nation in deaths in the state of Georgia since 1995.
So when the temperature starts to climb, Etheridge says coaches will need to pay attention.
And that means we might be taking shoulder pads and all.
Let's go, huddle up. Here we go.
But the big thing is that you have a cooling off place where the sun's not directly on you.
A cooling off station with not only water but an ice tub and other things like cold towels is now standard procedure.
It's measuring the temperature of the air, the humidity, and the effect of the sun. 82 and below, there's no restrictions.
Another thing that's also standard procedure, trainers must use a wet bulb globe thermometer several times during practice.
You hear about the heat index on the radio or on the TV. That's how a person feels normally dressed, not doing any activity. Okay. This is more specific for our athletes and our athletic population as they're running around. They're going to be producing more heat, be affected more by the heat.
Several area coaches say they favor protecting athletes, but they are trying to figure out all the new rules.
But also, let me say, it's for a good cause. There's nothing wrong with that.
Statesboro High School football coach Steve Pennington says he still has questions. It does say it's hotter now, right?
It does, because we've been standing in the sun. So that's something that we are monitoring.
The rules say a wet globe temperature over 87 means limiting practice to 2 hours.
And one of those issues is the fluctuation of the wet bulb globe temperature. What it is, when it comes down, when you can go out, what's your time limited, and so it really puts a strain in the organization and the practice scheduling time. But I know at Statesboro we're going to find a way, and we're going to do it right, but we're going to find a way.
But it's not about just a game we play, it's about how can they play the game and yet be as safe as it possibly can be.
Etheridge says the high school association did think long and hard about the rules. He expects most schools will follow them, but says there are repercussions if they don't.
There is a $500 to $1,000 fine to the school that does not follow it because it's important that we reduce the number of people going down with heat stroke.